Good morning, everyone. The from the second question, this is the last lab experiment. If you see here, they are asking you to show DOM manipulations using JavaScript. We need to develop a DOM manipulations using JavaScript. So DOM manipulations, DOM means document object model. So here we have to learn about the structure of the HTML page, like how it is. It is having an head tag and a body tag. And head tag consists of metadata, title, link. Okay. And the body consists of division, H1 tag, input tag, button, list. Okay. And there is a script. Okay. So to make it to make the changes, as in to make it dynamic, to make the changes whenever the user is giving something to validate and all, we need to access, to get the inputs from the user, we need to access the DOM structure of the HTML. Okay, here is a simple HTML page that I have created to show you a DOM manipulation, okay, using a dynamic list. Okay, if you see here, I have given the title of my page is DOM manipulation example. Okay, and I am using a styles.css external CSS file, and here I am using, in the body I have mentioned a class container, and I am using a heading called dynamic list in that, and I am in the same class container, I am having I'm using, making use of a input field, text field. Okay, and the ID for that text field is given as input, item input. And the placeholder means, when you look here, see here it is showing add a new item. Okay, when you click and type something, so it will be entering those, but here it is showing the user what to be entered. So that is the purpose of placeholder. Okay, and I'm making use of a button, and its ID is add item button, and the title of the name, the text that is there on the button is add item. Okay, here the, and there is a list that we have created. Okay, for that we have as it is dynamic, we are giving only the ID. Okay, item list, and have closed the division. Okay, now let's see the script how we are doing. So we need to take, here is the output, how it looks here. This is the container where the heading is dynamic list. This is the input text field, and the button name what we have given is add item. Okay, so and the placeholder is showing what to be entered here. So once the user enters something here and presses the button, okay, it has to take that input and add it to the list. Okay, these are the two events that have been happening. So when you clicked here, so it has to be handled, what functions has to be done, it has to add it on the list, and that has to be displayed, that list items has to be displayed in this division. Okay, output thing. Okay, see, in the list that we have given. Okay, so let's see what JavaScript validations we have written. So I am taking based upon the ID. So we here we will be making use of, we are going to access the DOM structure of an HTML either through ID or by class or by tag. Okay, so or query all selector. Okay, query all selector, that is one way. Okay, so here I am making use of get element by ID. So first is the item input, that is the text field whatever we have given. For that the name what we have given is ID name is item input, and here is the variable. To avoid confusions, I am putting the variable name the same thing. Okay, and for the button ID is add item button from the HTML page, the same variable goes in to avoid the confusions. And item list is list ID. Okay, and now we are adding an event listener to the button. So when it is clicked, it has to add, what is the variable that we have set, object add item button dot add event listener. When it is clicked, it has to undergo the function, that is it has to show item text, whatever text value that input field is taking, item input field is taking, that value has to be inputted to item text. Okay, and check if the input is not empty. We need to check, no, if at all if it is empty, it has to validate. I didn't enter anything, but I am trying to click the button and asking it to add the item. So when I click here, it is alerting me that please enter an item. Okay. So this has to be validated. So for that validation, here I have written code called, see, when the trim is not equals to, so when this is empty, so it has to create a list. When it is not empty, it has to create a list and show whatever items we are adding and clicking on the button, that is added to this list. Okay, if that is not happening, then it has to, if else, in the else we are writing alert, please enter an item. When it is entered, it has to, see here I am, my list goes with Australia. And once I have clicked on the button, what it has to do? It has to enter those values, take that value and put it in the item text, and that has to be appended to the list. Okay, if I have, if this is not empty, this function, this execution statements will be happening. If this is empty, when I click an add item, it has to show me the alert. So here I have used a simple if else condition control structure, where I am saying if this is not empty and click the button, then it has to be appended to the list. Else, that means if it is empty, then it should give an alert, please enter an item. That's the same code I have written. See, I am taking that text, item text. Okay, here we have kept that value in the item text, and that value is being given to the list item. Okay, in the list item, and item list is been appended with the child, that is new item. Okay, here dynamically we are creating a list, and that has been stored in new item. For that we are going on adding a, appending a child. Okay, and in here if you see, and after the, after we enter, after we click the button, it has to add new item to the list, no? So it has to clear the input field, no? So that you can enter the, see here it is clear. Once we have entered the list, entered in the list and click the button, it is clearing all. So this is the code, no, we have written. See, input item, item input dot value equals to null. Okay, so it will be clearing the values that we have written in the input field. And if at all if you are pressing else, is it should give an alert, present, please enter an item. Okay, this is a, this is how we are going to talk to the structure of the HTML. Okay, so keep learning. Thank you all.